Hey everybody, welcome back to Project Overflow. Thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who have been following us, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And those of you who have sent us comments and all that, fantastic. For you who are your first time coming here, we're actually right in the middle of a series that we call "How Do We Survive a Crisis?" Okay, so if you missed the episode 1, 2, and 3, do look at the links, okay, because it's all in the description, and you can find and so that you can follow through to this series because it's really interesting. Actually, we've come to a point whereby in Malaysia, actually worldwide, nobody really knows when this crisis will actually end. Okay, looks like it's a start, stop, start, stop. Okay, so we don't know. But how do we handle this? And we did cover some information of currently what you can do, and then we started talking about as the economy now builds back into normality, what should you be doing? Okay, so we ended the last episode. We're saying that we actually need to scale down and don't very quickly go back into expansion in terms of spending, right? And how we should build this thing called a storehouse. Zuan, what are your thoughts? How can we build this storehouse?
Wow. Yeah, so there's a lot of many, some people call it rainy day fund, crisis fund, but I like the term storehouse because from what we've talked about in the previous episode, how do in the ancient days, how people actually build up the storehouse is they don't eat their entire harvest, okay? They actually set it aside so that during famine, the storehouse is full and then that can last them during that famine times where people don't know when it will end. So I think that's a very good concept in terms of what we're building instead of calling it a savings or a FD or a rainy day fund and things like that. It's like kind of a by the way. By the way, we put it aside, but that angle is very good. But if since we're talking about storehouse, then my next question is what can we do to build out a storehouse, and also what is a good amount to start with, and how do we actually do that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, storehouse, and then I heard recently another guru. Actually, both Zu and I we love him so much, and he says that you should start a family bank. Okay, start your own bank. Okay, and I think the concept is the same. The storehouse is like a bank. Okay, so in those days when the famine comes, there are a lot of people that will be knocking on your door, and even now, you look at this crisis, right? A lot of people are really destitute. Destitute means they don't even have a cent. They moved out of their house. They've got nothing. They're lying on cardboard boxes out in the street under the bridges. So, do you have funds to go and help them? Do you have access to be able to now lend a helping hand? I think that's also very important because we all live in this world together, and humanity needs us. And so, be the one that will have enough to give away or to share, rather than be the one that is now in need. I think that's the concept of storehouse. So how much and how can we do this, right? I don't know some of the figures. I've got a figure. I don't know whether you have one. Zoom. What's your figure? How many months or how many years do you think a good amount to store away?
The first one that I heard was 6 months. Okay, 6 months, but the pandemic already proved us 6 months is not
Not enough.
is not enough. It's almost 24 months now.
Yeah.
So the second one I heard is 12 months. 12 months, and so far the best I've heard is 10 times, 10 times your at least 10 times your monthly expenses. So I think that is the model that I am using currently. Whether it works or not, I don't know. So far that is what I heard and what I practice. And yeah, what about you?
I think for me, I'm actually building. Now it's actually considerably down, right? But I'm building at the peak. I want to have 60 months, 60, right? 60 months. I think will be long enough for me to not worry about money, but also give me enough time to reevaluate the market as it opens up again. To look at what are the opportunities then. Okay, I think you brought up in episode 1, episode 2, I can't remember now, where you said that depending on your skill set and experience, don't just go out there and get any job, but have enough time to evaluate and then find one that commensurate, okay, the amount that you can be making for the least amount of time that you're spending. I think that is a superb kind of ideology to have. And in order to do that, right, you need to have enough time for the market to recover and then stabilize and then look for something, right? So you're not just taking the lowest wage. Even as it recovers. So I think for me, that's what I aspire to have. I think I've reached at a good point. When I talk about this, 60 months is not luxurious 60 months, is actually crisis 60 months, right? So at the peak, I think I had up to 32 months or so. Okay, so now already 24 months almost taken up already, so I have to rebuild that myself. Okay, but then again, I'm not rushing for that. So that's what makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and one thing that just now you mentioned, one of the person that we are following, he talks about building a family bank, right? So I think the one of the best or the best vehicle to do that is actually a trust. A trust, so a trust fund. I have the privilege to set up a few trust funds and cash trust, a trust fund, cash trust. Also, that's what, and I set that up last year.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, so in this year it actually really helps, it really helps, because now it's not every month, but every year it's paying an amount into my bank account, and also the capital is preserved, so it's not like any other investments. You invest and then you look at the ROI. This is, they preserve the capital first, then they pay out a certain percentage. So I mean, that is how I actually start building. It's not really, I didn't had that thought of building a storehouse, but it seems like a very viable vehicle to have, because no matter what happens, the capital that is being put into is preserved, it's not touched, and they will pay out the returns every year. So maybe there's something, you guys, if you're interested, you can have go and do more research on it.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Okay, guys, if you want Zuan to share a little bit more about that, do put it in the comments. Then we will have probably a series or an episode on it, so that there's a little bit more understanding of what trust is. Okay, there are many kinds of trust, family trust, but he's talking about cash trust. Okay, so what does that mean? What is it all about? Okay, so if you miss the term, you can go and search this out. But if you are in a place whereby you can't even look at that at the moment, then start looking at the first couple of steps or first few steps that we've talked about in this series. All right, so we've got one more episode to go, and in that episode we want to wrap up, but also give you some final tips, okay, of how both of us, we also haven't been working for almost 2 years now, but we're not destitute, or we're not going crazy, and yeah, we still need money, but it's not that we are invincible, but we've done something that helped us through this crisis, so that it keeps us steady, okay, with a steady head. So we'll do that in the next episode. We'll wrap up, but some final words on this, and so that you can be on your way to build towards a crisis-free crisis. Okay, okay. So we'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.